I think Jay thinks that Coach K didn't play him enough. But I don't know that. I don't know that, but I think in his heart, he wouldn't say that on this show, but I think in his heart he doesn't think Coach K played him enough. So anyway,
Coach,
maybe.
I used to tell him all the time, if you want to win, put me in.
But tell our listeners how the Nick Saban speech came down, what happened on that, how'd they call? I know he calls a lot of great celebrities. Talk about that a little bit for our listeners. They want to know.
Well, I got a chance to meet Coach Saban several years ago, and he had mentioned that he had heard that that I do this kind of thing from time to time, and he says, everybody's telling me I need to bring you in. I said, well, do whatever you want. So we actually had it scheduled for last season in October, but ESPN assigned me to go to Canada to cover Duke's foreign tour over there with Zion Williamson and all that stuff. So we had to put it off to this year, and it was a wonderful experience for me. I spent the whole day with the team and sat through meetings, and my head was spinning, all the stuff they were trying to put in, all the schemes and everything. And but I really enjoyed it, and being around such a great organization. I'll tell you, Coach, I haven't seen a better leader than Nick Saban in any context. He's fantastic and just relentless in his attention to detail and preparation and his energy. I don't think there's a player there, as hard as the players work, that can look over at the coaching staff and say, well, they're not working as hard as we are. They are. It's really no accident the way that they win. It's really incredible.
Well, was there anything in specific that you saw? I know you've been a lot of places, and sometimes when you're on the outside, you hear about places and you get in there and you say, man, those guys don't know any more than we do, or their facilities aren't any better than what I've seen. But sometimes you get in there and you're pleasantly surprised. It blows you away. Was any one or two particular things that you saw when you got here that made you maybe think differently?
It was more attitude than anything. I mean, the facilities are fantastic. They're actually going to be upgraded. The attention to detail on performance, not just the performance on the field and correcting this technique, all that stuff, but sort of the idea that preparing themselves to be ready when they're on the field. So their hydration, the way they eat, the way they take care of their bodies. I think there's a lot of attention to the turnover on the coaching staff. I think 7 of the 10 coaches are new this year, if I got the numbers right and remember right.
You did.
But if you look behind the coaching staff, there are elite performers in every job, and whether it's nutrition, the training staff, you name it, whatever it is, they're top shelf. And they perform at the highest level, as any player, any coach. And so after being there, I was probably, in what I read and heard, just in the media, you're thinking, well, 7 to 10 new coaches, that's going to be an interesting challenge and all that stuff. And then you saw the machine behind the players and the coaches. You go, wait a minute, that machine, that foundation is rock solid and has been there for years and years. So there's nothing to worry about there. It's an incredible organization, and I think anyone in a leadership capacity could watch that and come away. I came away with I must have had 8 pages of notes.
Really,
I couldn't write anymore after all that. It was stunning, the stuff I learned, and I'm going to be able to hopefully apply in my job.
I don't think sometimes people understand. Yeah, they have number 1 recruiting classes. They get the 4 and the 5 stars every year, but handling those guys sometimes is not real easy because every one of those guys is a star, and they've got to find their role when they get here, and that's tough to do behind the scenes that people don't see.
I agree. I think not only acceptance of roles, but defining them and then not being boxed in by the role. Your role is just what your team needs you to do to win a championship. It's not necessarily who you are, who you're going to be. And your role can change in an instant. It can change in one play. A couple days after I was there, they've had a couple injuries. So, and that happens in football, in any sport, but especially in football. And the other thing that I came away with from Coach Saban is, he is very demanding of players, his coaches, to do things exactly right all the time. But when there's a correction made, he wants the correction acted upon, but he doesn't want the players or the coaches to take negativity with them. He wants them to move forward in a positive. And I think there's maybe a perception from those who don't know him or just see him in a press conference or look at him on the sidelines when he takes his headset off, all upset or something, that they think that he's a negative coach, and he's not. He gives the correction, but he wants it acted upon positively, and he wants the players to be confident in their ability to execute. And it's really he's remarkable. And I was honored to be there, but I was grateful for the opportunity to learn while I was there.
Sure, Dad.
I had the opportunity to sit in on some of Coach Bryant's staff meetings. Were you able to sit in any of the staff meetings at all?
I wasn't in the staff meetings when it was just the coaches because they were squaring me around, showing me different things.
Sure.
So I sat in on the player meetings, sort of the offense, defense, the position meetings, and watched all those things. But I wasn't. And then I sat down with Coach Saban in his office for a time. And so it was, I got the full treatment, but I wasn't sitting in on every. I couldn't get to every single meeting.
Yeah, I heard a lot of great comments about. I don't even know what you said, but somebody told me that you had really done a terrific job. And is that easy for you to do, to talk to the teams like that, especially to a football team, or is that difficult?
Well, it was really the first time I'd addressed a football team in that setting, where it's in in the team room when you got 90 players plus coaching staff and other staff, and so it's a little bit of a different feel. And plus, it was at the end of a day, so they had been there from 7 in the morning, and I don't think I spoke until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And so I was I was the guy standing in the way of their evening snack and bed. But it was really fun. I mean, and the players are really attentive, and they get it, man. They're looking to get better, and that's not a winning culture there. That's a championship culture. And the difference, the margin of excellence they have is their relentless pursuit of improvement and of doing, building championship habits on every play and in everything they do. And boy, the level of concentration those guys have to have for an entire day in their heavy installation of their offense, defense, and special teams and all that. It's like a military thing. It was really fun to watch, and I have a lot of respect for not only the coaching staff but the players and the way they go about their business.
Have you ever seen any more analysts in all your life? And I'm talking about guys that have been like all the analysts. They got to have a different parking lot just for all those guys to park, Jay.
Yeah, they've got a lot of staff, and so they take care of every detail. But what that does is it allows each person to be able to concentrate solely on their job, instead of worrying about other things. But like just the organizational challenge of moving that team around, and they keep them. They're monitoring their health and safety all the time, so they can perform at a high level. They're out there in 95-degree heat, so they're and really busting it for a couple hours. So they're monitoring the heat, making sure that they're in great. It was funny though when some action came toward us on the sidelines one time on a play. One player had I had a coach got on me, pick your helmet up. He'd put his helmet on the ground. And I was thinking, geez, that's and he had told me, he says that's something Coach Saban is relentless about. Is they had an injury years ago when he was with when he was somewhere else before he got to Alabama. Somebody stepped in a helmet that was on the ground and got injured.
Huh.
So they're on every detail, and it's really really amazing.
Yeah, damn.
ACC in basketball, I think Alabama. I think maybe you watched Alabama practice a little bit. They're trying to maybe do some things differently, and I think they open up with North Carolina. Just briefly, the ACC, is North Carolina going to be questionable? Are they going to be pretty good, or where they stand there?
Yeah, North Carolina will be very good. They won't be maybe not as good out of the gate as they were last year because they had so many older players. Cam Johnson, who was the 11th pick in the draft, and all that. And then they lost Kobe White, their point guard. But they've got a point guard in named Cole Anthony, who's Greg Anthony's son, the great player from UNLV and the NBA and commentator now. But Cole is he's a pro. So he'll be in the NBA, maybe next year, and he can really play. So with the way Roy Williams gets up and down the floor, and their big guys are back and should be improved, whether it's Garrison Brooks or Sterling Mann, whatever it is, but they'll be fine, and so they'll be a real challenge. And I got a chance to hang out with Nate Oates a little bit when I came to visit Tuscaloosa, and I'm confident he'll do a really good job. Nate's a really good coach. Yeah. And I think he gets it. And he the one thing that I like, he loves being at Alabama, and he's a worker. And when you combine those two things, good things usually happen.
Yeah, he was another guy coming in talking about learning from Coach Saban. I think Chris Beard may have been here when you were here. Did you get?
He was there 2 days. Chris is a good friend. I've known him a long time, and Chris actually credits Coach Saban. Without hyperbole, really changing his life and almost saving his life. He said when, several years ago when his career was at a crossroads, he was really down. He started studying Nick, and so getting that opportunity, I don't think I've ever seen any kid on Christmas happier than Chris Beard was the 2 days he was in Tuscaloosa.
Well, did you get a chance to watch Alabama work out at all basketball-wise?
No, I didn't. I just saw Nate for about an hour or two at practice. And so I wasn't able to get over there and see him practice. I'm not sure they went that day, but I was there August 6th. I got in early morning August 6th and left early morning August 7th. But just had a wonderful time. But I saw Alabama play last year, and I know they got Lewis back and Jones and all that stuff. So they'll have an opportunity to be good. I think they have. They also have a graduate transfer in, don't they? The Beetle Bolden from West Virginia.
Yeah, from West Virginia.
And then they got the Quinterly kid from Villanova. They're trying to get eligible. Let's see if they can get him eligible this year. Hey, Jay, was Coach Saban not paranoid with you being a Dookie and them opening up with Duke? Was he not paranoid? Maybe you getting some of the secrets and sharing out with your alma mater?
I don't think he's too worried about that. I think most coaches, it's kind of funny. Like you always kind of laugh that you can get a little not Coach Saban, but some coaches can get paranoid from time to time, and they're worried about somebody who's that watching practice over there. And every once in a while, especially when I was an assistant, some of the assistants go, "Coach, our players don't know the plays." Like what the?
Yeah, right. We don't know our own plays.
Taking them. Yeah. We make a call. I'm not sure our players know what we're doing.
Did you get? This is what Dad really wants to ask, but he won't ask you, so I'll ask. Did you get any free gear? I know you didn't get any. Did you get any free shirts or anything like that? Collared shirts, nice Nike stuff, anything free?
I actually brought some with me. I wasn't sure when I came that whether Coach Saban is one of those guys that wants you to wear Alabama stuff or all that. So when I played in some Alabama golf tournaments and all that, so I made sure I had a Peter Millar Alabama golf shirt and had an Alabama cap that I wear when I play golf and all that. So I brought it with me just in case, but he didn't care what I wore. I just wore my normal stuff.
Yeah, well, Dad would have done the exact opposite. He would have brought it and say, "Hey, I want to speak in the Alabama shirt. Could you go back there and get me one?"
I want to thank you for being on today and appreciate you coming down here. I'm sure Nick and them enjoyed it. The players did, and I appreciate you. And we look forward to talking to you. Not much, I won't bug you, but every now and then.
No, you call me anytime, and I'll make sure from now on that my phone is turned on a Friday morning or Tuesday morning.
He was name dropping, saying, "Me and Jay, we talked the other night." I'm like, "Yeah, right. You didn't even get him."
We absolutely did. My phone was off. When I turned it on, I had 15 phone calls.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you. Great to be with you.